Hi there. This week's tip is all about protecting your knee joint while you're working on your turned out leg position hip mobility, so your hip external rotation. I see more and more people working on their seated rest postures and seated hip mobility, which I absolutely love, though it can be a really big contributor to lateral or outside knee pain, and sometimes even patella tendonitis. So I just want to share a simple tip to help prevent that. So of course, you guys know I'm like the queen of using props. So the number one way to prevent it to happen is lifting your hips up to give yourself a little bit more range of motion available. So whether you're in a cross leg position, right, in a traditional cross leg or a tailor sit position, a side sit, which is also called a shin box or a Z sit, this is really important to keep in mind. So especially if you're not using a bolster underneath you, you want to dorsiflex the ankle. When you dorsiflex the ankle, what this does to lower leg bones, the tibia and the fibula, is it slightly internally rotates it and sort of locks it in that internally rotated position. This is going to facilitate a femoral or thigh bone external rotation, which is the motion that you're getting when you're in a turned out position and trying to increase. So if I have a nice strong dorsiflexed foot, really active, I'm connected into my fascial slings as well, which means that gives a little bit more space in my joints too. So here, my knee joint is protected, the bottom bone spinning in, which helps facilitate the upper bone spinning out, and I'm up on a bolster, which makes it a little bit more accessible. So here you can see the opposite leg in front. So dorsiflex position protects the knee joint, helps it externally rotate the opposite side. If I let go of my dorsiflexion and come off of here, you might notice that I still look like I can get in this position, but it puts all the pressure on my knee joint, especially if I lean forward into it. And I'm not really feeling a huge hip stretch. But if I dorsiflex first, you notice how just by dorsiflexion and internally rotating this bottom bone, the knee pops up off the ground a little bit, because now you get to see that I actually do have some hip tightness and external rotation. Now I can go ahead and increase that stretch by leaning forward. If you want your thigh to touch the ground, that's fine. You can come and offset your seated position. Still though, keep this dorsiflexed foot to protect the knee joint and facilitate more external rotation in the leg. Then you can come forward, you can lean to the side, add in any of your trunk movements, however you see fit. Okay? So as we come to the other side, same thing. When I'm not dorsiflexed, it looks like I can be here all day long. And if I lean forward, I just feel it mostly in my knee joint. Dorsiflex my foot. You notice I'm a little bit more flexible on this side. The knee doesn't lift up quite as much. But then as I lean forward, now it's much more accentuated in the posterior or back side of my hip. So again, then we can add on any positions. If I wanted to be in the center, it's really hard to sit there because I don't have the mobility. So this is when it's nice to add some blocks. Now I can be in the center of that shin box, side sit, Z sit, whatever you like to call it, lean forward, do some of my get-ups, no problem. As you do a get-up from here, still have a dorsiflexed foot to start, then when you need to, let it relax to roll all the way through. But then as you come back down into it, start to dorsiflex your foot so you still protect the knee joint and facilitate more of the motion coming from the hip than the knee. So play around with this. Notice how it feels and notice how it changes the experience for you. Let me know if you have any questions.